What is up, you horror nerds? It is me, your host once again, Jeremiah Duncan. Welcome back to the channel. Today's review is a big one, so I'm going to try to punch it out really quick so I can get you all the information because it's a lot. Because it is a trilogy we're going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the Bloodthirsty Trilogy. This was released by Arrow, which is freaking fantastic. It is Japanese horror, if you are not familiar with it. Let's read you the back, and then we'll talk about the movies individually and what they're about and what's good, what's bad, and what you need to know about them. The Bloodthirsty Trilogy, inspired by the runaway success of the British American Gothic horror films of the 60s, Toho brought the vampiric troops of the Dracula legend to Japanese screens with The Vampire Doll, Legacy of Dracula, Lake of Dracula, and Evil of Dracula. Three spookily effective cult classics collectively known as the Bloodthirsty Trilogy. In The Vampire Doll, a young man goes missing after visiting his girlfriend's isolated country home. His sister and her boyfriend trace him to the creepy mansion, but their search becomes perilous when they uncover a gruesome family history. Lake of Dracula begins with a young girl suffering a terrifying nightmare of a vampire with blazing golden eyes. 18 years later, the dream is revealed to be a hellish prophecy when a strange package containing an empty coffin mysteriously turns up at a nearby lake. In Evil of Dracula, a professor takes up a new post at an all-girls school, only to discover the school's principal conceals a dark secret and the pupils are in great danger. Abounding with images of dark, thunderous nights, ghostly mansions, and bloody fangs, Michio Yamamoto's trilogy emphasizes atmosphere and style and is sure to please both fans of classic Gothic horror and Japanese genre cinema. So yeah, cinema. Whew, I'm getting hungry. All right. First off, so fantastic. These things they stand on their own individually, and they're great films, especially if you love Japanese horror and especially if you love Gothic films. Awesome. So, The Vampire Doll, 1970, not rated, runs for an hour 25. Giving that one a 6 out of 10. Great film. I'd watch it again. It's creepy. It's got the atmosphere. It's the first in the series, but fun fact, they don't have anything to do with each other. He just made 3 separate movies, but they're just kind of all about the same stuff. This one has a great story and super fun. I just love how you got the mansion. You feel like you're in a Scooby-Doo because of the mansion and the people walking around eerily and, got the drapey dresses on and stuff. It's awesome. Love the aesthetic. Now, Lake of Dracula, 1971, not rated. Giving this one a 6 out of 10 as well. Runs for an hour and 22. Solid film. Maybe even a little bit better at times than the Vampire Doll. But honestly, the Vampire Doll's top shelf. So, Lake of Dracula, though, the second half is so much better than the first of this one. First kind of drags on, but man, the second half is gold. It's solid. You need to watch it just for that. And it's not as intense as the Vampire Doll from start to finish, but with the atmosphere, like I said, the second half, I don't want to give away any spoilers. It's worth it, and it definitely saves it. That brings that score up to 6 out of 10. Great acting, great locations for filming. Just an awesome film. Lastly, Evil of Dracula, 1974, not rated, hour and 27. This one I got to give a 5 out of 10. Not as good as the other two, but despite being Dracula in the names of these, Dracula's not actually in here. Now, granted, they are vampires, but Vlad Dracula is actually not even in any of these films. They're just trying to hang their hat on the success of all the American films, which I understand. You got to do what you got to do to make your money. I get it. Now, it doesn't really drag on, but man, it's just like it never really gets anywhere, unfortunately for me. I do like the thought of this school teacher going to a place to be able to teach these people. It's kind of a cool concept, especially kind of new at that time. Of course, now we have all these stories about this teacher coming in and, all this crazy stuff going on. Of course, this is the last of the 3. And it shows, I don't know if he ran out of stories or ran out of energy to write. I mean, the story, again, is cool, and the setting is amazing in this old house, reformatory, or whatever you want to call it, with the schoolgirls. But there's not much substance, and that's what kills this one. That's why I scored a little bit lower than the other ones. Still a solid film if you didn't have these other two that you just watched. But anyway, I highly suggest you watch all three. Great trilogy. Overall, I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10. I know that's probably what you thought was coming, since 2 of the 3 were 6 out of 10. But, I mean, I'd watch these again, especially if somebody that I know is really into Japanese horror or Gothic horror. They are definitely worth it. Need it in the collection, especially for the Japanese aspect of it. The Bloodthirsty Trilogy. If you've seen it, comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, subscribe, hit the death bell for notifications. Stick around. I got more coming to you. I appreciate y'all.